Today on Spuds and Scones, we're making a Christmas classic, and that is ginger and molasses cookies. Let's get started on the dry ingredients here. So we've got 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, we're going to add a teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/4 teaspoon of regular old table salt. Give that a whiskey whisk here. Right, and then we're going to add our holiday spices here. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of ground ginger. Next up, we're going to do 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And for some spiciness, we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of cloves here. Ginger combined with the cinnamon and the cloves. It's a match made in heaven. Or a trio, I should say. All right, we're going to get these incorporated here. Smells incredible. For these ginger molasses cookies, I've done them about 5 or 6 years. It's part of a family tradition that we do every year. Either go to my sister or my mom's house and we go through a Christmas cookie cookbook that we have all put together over the years. So we add 1 or 2 new things a year, but this is one of the staples, and for good reason. Dry ingredients are all incorporated. Right, let's get started on our wet ingredients here. So we've got 12 tablespoons or a 1.5 stick of unsalted butter. I always use unsalted butter in our recipes. That way you can control the salt content of your recipe. So unsalted butter here. And then we've got 1/2 cup of light brown sugar and 1/2 cup of white sugar. You could also use dark brown sugar if you have that. That would just add a deeper flavor. So what we're going to do here is cream it. I am doing this by hand because we have a baby sleeping about 10 feet from us. If you have a hand mixer or a stand mixer, that's totally fine to use. But I like the elbow grease that it requires. And hey, if you have more elbow grease, that means you're exercising and that means more cookies, right? Right. All right, and just like that, after about a minute or 2 here, it's nice and fluffy, nice and well incorporated. There's no streaks of anything. We are set for our next step. So we've got 1 egg here. 1 large egg. I always crack it into its own bowl or little container here. You never know if you're going to get a shell in there. You never know if you're going to get that double yolk situation, which I read is like 1 in 200 or something. And I feel like it happens to me pretty often. So maybe I should buy a lottery ticket or something. And when we add wet ingredients, I always like to add 1 at a time. It just ensures that everything is nicely incorporated. Lastly, in our ginger molasses, we got to have some molasses. So we've got a 1/4 cup here. I'm just going to help that in. And you might be asking, hey, Jessica, how did that come out so easily? Like, molasses is nuts. It's so sticky. Well, give you a little baker tip. Put a little cooking spray in there. You can put some butter in there. Basically anything to grease your container, and they'll slip right out. And I use full flavored molasses here. You can get mild flavor. There's both available at the store, but I say, hey, if you're going to have ginger molasses cookies, have the full flavor molasses. It adds such an earthiness. It's got that Christmas flavor to it. And even if you think you don't like molasses a ton, give this a try because it is so unique. You're not going to get anything like this the rest of the year. And this is looking excellent. So we've got it kind of into like a paste here. And then last step here, we're just going to add our dry ingredients to it. We're going to add about 1/4 of the mixture at a time. Again, like I was saying with the wet ingredients, just adding a little bit at a time will just ensure everything is nicely incorporated. You're not going to have any chunks of flour. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a video. We read every comment that you have, any feedback you have for us. As you see it starts coming together, that'll require even more elbow grease. So again, if you're doing this by hand, bravo, because you just allowed yourself an extra cookie you can eat, because it's kind of hard work. All right, we're just going to add that last little bit here. If you're on that hand mixer or stand mixer, I'd say, again, another 1 to 2 minutes, just like it took to cream your butter and sugar. To have it come together, I would do it on a medium speed. And just like that, our dough has come together. It's nice and soft here. And what we're going to do to make it a little less soft and a little more pliable to roll into balls when we put it in the oven is we're going to put it in the fridge here. So we're going to put it in the fridge for at least an hour, preferably 2 or 3. You can even do it overnight and just take it out of the fridge once you're ready to use it. Give it a nice pat. And also make sure you give it a sniff because, hey, you did the work here and this smells amazing. So we're going to pop this in the fridge. All right, our dough has been chilling for at least an hour. Again, 2 to 3 is even better. And what you want it to look like, almost like Play-Doh here. So we're going to use our cookie scoop or just your good old hands to roll these together. They'll be nice and chilled enough and they won't spread too much in the oven. We want like a thin to a little bit thicker cookie. If you have a cookie scoop, that's great. Use that. Otherwise, if you've got your 2 hands like me, we're going to do about tablespoon sized. That's perfect. I'm going to put these in some white sugar. So they look very nice and sparkly. They look like almost little snowballs. And what happens in the oven is when these start to spread, they're going to crackle, and you're going to see all the sugar kind of go through the cracks, and it's going to look beautiful and taste even better. Right, we've got our ginger molasses cookies all rolled in sugar and ready to go. Got one tray here. We'll just put in one tray at a time, but this will make anywhere from like 22 to 24 cookies, depending on what size you want to use. So we're going to get these into a preheated 350-degree oven, and they're going to be cooking for about 11 to 13 minutes. Let's put them in the oven. All right, our ginger molasses cookies are out of the oven. They're looking wonderful, and to tell that they're done, just want to make sure that they set on the tray for about 5 to 10 minutes. So leave them right on the tray when you take them out of the oven. That'll continue the cooking process, and when they're all done, they're going to look like this. You see a nice golden brown on the bottom. It's nice and chewy and soft on the inside and crispy on the outside. I would say that is a perfect ginger molasses cookie. Pearl, our Labradoodle, also wants to join. She's ringing the bell because she is ready for a ride. So let's give these a taste. Oh my God. Fresh from the oven after they've set for those 5 or 10 minutes. Just amazing. You can see here, like I was saying, soft and chewy in the middle. And if you like this Christmas recipe, be sure to check out our Christmas scone recipe. And Merry Christmas!